Three biggest mistakes that I've made on my entrepreneurial journey and how you can save yourself time and money. This video is going to help you do just that. Hello, for those of you who are new here, my name is Caitlin Cook and I'm a multi-award winning global consultant and top 1% business strategist, helping entrepreneurs all around the world create impactful and profitable businesses. And if you're returning, thank you so very much for supporting this channel. If this video resonates, please like, share and subscribe. So today I'm going to explain the three biggest mistakes that I've made in my business, and hopefully you will find ways that you don't make these particular mistakes, or you learn from mine. So the first mistake that I made in business is not separating my business income from my personal income. So when I started making more and more money in my business, I would look at the revenue coming in as my own income, which it's not. So for example, if I would receive $10,000 a week, I would say, okay, cool, I'm making $10,000 a week. But I wasn't actually making $10,000 a week. My company was making $10,000 a week. And my company also had to spend money. We had expenses and everything like that. But for me, I was just like, cool, all right, great, it's my income. And what happened, one of the biggest mistakes, is that I didn't put a lot of money aside into the company because I was just like, oh, cool, it's my money. So I'll just spend it and do what I want to do with it. And this over time actually stagnated my growth, because from a mindset standpoint, every amount of revenue that came into my business, I would look at it as if it was my income. And it wasn't until I did this many times over that I went, okay, I've got to change something. And then I started to go, okay, how much money do I actually want to receive myself? And then I would set the bar on, okay, cool, this is the revenue that I want to make, so then I can draw out this amount of income for myself. And separating it like that from a mindset standpoint allowed me to get incredibly clear on how much money to transfer into my account and how much money to keep into the business to be able to pay all of the expenses and to invest in the future of the company. So that was a huge mistake, and one I'm hoping you will learn from. Okay, the second mistake, biggest mistake that I learned, was in believing that I wasn't capable of doing it. So getting other people to do the work and not asking them their qualifications and not actually interviewing them properly to do the work. I've struggled with imposter syndrome for a very long time, and a lot of the clients I work with do as well. So if this is you, know that it's very normal. So for me, what was happening is I would sign on a new client, I'd have to do all this work for them, and that was absolutely fine. I was like, yeah, cool. And I can actually do the work. But I was like, a part of me was going, no, I can't possibly earn this amount of money myself. I'll have to get other people in. I'm not good enough. I can't actually do this. So what was happening is I was earning quite a large sum of money from my clients, but then I was actually paying quite a large amount of money to other people to do the work. And I wasn't actually interviewing them properly because I just believed they'd be better than me, so they'd know what to do. And this was not the case. So what was happening is I'd be receiving a certain amount of money from my clients. I'd be paying for people to do a certain amount of work, and it would actually match the same revenue, and expenses would be the same. And I'd end up having to do more of the work anyway because they weren't doing it the way that it needed to be done, because I hadn't interviewed them properly. And it all came down when I really reviewed it and went, why did this not work? What was going on? And I really reviewed it and went, okay, it was actually because I just didn't believe that I was good enough to do the work, which is really funny because the client would have never asked me to do the work if they didn't think that I could do it, because we'd been working together for so long. So that's another thing. If you want to employ people, if you want to subcontract work out to other people, that's absolutely fine. You get to do that. It's a brilliant part of business, but understand why you're doing it. If you're doing it because you don't believe you're good enough, chances are it's not going to be the right energy going into it. But if you're doing it because you're like, no, I know I want to do this in the business and somebody else can do this, then that will help save you money and time and some headaches. One of the biggest things that actually happened with that is I'd outsourced a website to a client, and we'd worked together for 6 months, and it was a very large paying client. And by the end of it, half an hour came. Within half an hour of me having the meeting, the handover with the client, the web developer had not done anything that was meant to be done. And I was the front of it, so I had to stand there and go, I am so sorry, but this did not work out the way that we had planned, and it's on me, and I'm so sorry. And I had to carry that, and I had to basically be the person to go, it's an error and it was my error and I'm really sorry for that. So really make sure you know the people that you need to work that you want to work within your business and actually like interview them properly. That's a huge one. Now, the third and final, well, there's more than three, but for today's session, we're just going to do three. So the third, one of the other third biggest mistakes that I have made in business is not being consistent with what's actually working. So this can actually come in the way of self-sabotage. So for me, majority of my clients come to me through a platform called Upwork and also word of mouth. And Upwork has been incredible for me. It is so easy because I put a proposal in, the client looks at my profile, they go, yep, she knows what she's doing because I've got reviews and I've been on the platform for a very long time, so I have a good profile. And it's really easy now because I've worked on it and built it up. It's really easy for me to get clients now. But what I find myself doing is when I start to get more and more and more and more successful, I go, it can't be this easy. I now need to overcomplicate it and do more to justify the extra money that I want to come in. And that is just a self-sabotaging behavior. And it's a pattern that for myself, it's a pattern that I go through. So I've done it enough times now to go, okay, here's a pattern. Let's change it. Let's update it. So when something in your business is working, keep focusing in on it. If you take a step back, what will happen is there's normally a lag that occurs. So you could be doing something for 6 months and then you've stopped it for a month, but you're still getting leads and things are still happening because it sometimes requires a lag of weeks to months before it actually starts slowing down. So being consistent in what's actually working within your business. So for example, again, for myself on Upwork, I just need to be on the platform putting out proposals every day and then it works. It's brilliant. But it's when I don't do that I then notice a lag that happens and I don't get the consistency. So for me, it's interesting actually, like a little add-on to that is when I've got lots of clients happening and it's like, cool, I've got all the money that I need and want. It's amazing. This is fantastic. And then I'm like, cool, it's always going to be like this. And so then what happens is I stop doing the marketing. I stop doing the lead gen because I'm like, oh, it's always just going to be like this. But it's going to be like that because I've done the lead gen, because I've done the marketing. If this is resonating and you're like, yeah, don't overcomplicate it. What's working on your business and just focus in on that each and every day. And what happens is if you haven't built the momentum yet, you will build it through that compounding effect and it will improve moment by moment by moment. So those are the biggest mistakes because guess what? We all make mistakes. And it's like, people are always like, when I get successful, I'm not going to make any mistakes. Oh my God. I make so many more mistakes now because I'm successful that it's just like, oh, what should I be doing? How should I do this? And for me, it's a lot of that self-sabotaging behavior that I need to learn to stop overcomplicating things, to stop self-sabotaging and just focus in on what works. And what happens is the more that you do that, the better you get at it. So I'm hoping this video inspired you enough to go, oh my God, we all make mistakes. And to forgive yourself for the previous mistakes, to let that go, let that shame, that blame, whatever it is that you're holding on to, let it go because it's not going to serve you for where you're going. And guess what? You're going to make more mistakes and that's okay. Just be open and honest about it. Forgive yourself, forgive anybody else who was involved in it, and then just keep going towards what you want because the people who are the most successful and normally the happiest are the ones who've made so many mistakes, then they've forgiven themselves and gone, oh well. Tomorrow's another day. So on that note, if this video resonates, again, please like, share and subscribe. And if you need any additional assistance from me, my links are down below. You have got this and I'm cheering you on every step on your entrepreneurial journey. I will see you in the next video.